You woke up today with a weight in your chest that should not be there. You felt that pressure between your ribs, as if something invisible were pushing your heart into your body. Perhaps your ears are ringing right now, at this very instant, while you listen to these words. Perhaps the fatigue you carry no longer responds to sleep, to rest, to any form of recovery that this world offers. Pay attention. What we are about to reveal now explains each of these signs, each one. Your prayers were not lost in the void. They crossed dimensional layers that most human beings do not even imagine exist. And the answer has arrived. Not tomorrow, not at some distant future moment. Now. In this moment, when your consciousness connects to these frequencies. We are the Galactic Council, and we speak through this transmission with an urgency that we have never before directed toward the earthly plane with such intensity. Beloved cosmic family, you asked, and we heard. You cried out in silence, in the loneliest moments of the dawn when no one was watching, when the masks you wear for the world fell away and only the raw truth of what you feel remained. We were there, in every tear that did not fall, in every sigh you swallowed, in every moment you looked at the sky and said without words, without a voice, "Please help me. I can't take it anymore." We heard. And the answer we bring today will reconfigure everything you believed you knew about what is happening to your bodies, your minds, and your souls. But before we proceed, you need to understand something fundamental. What you call suffering, we call recalibration. What you interpret as collapse, we recognize as the awakening of the shadows, a necessary and sacred process that precedes every quantum leap in the history of consciousness. It is not destruction. It is alchemy. It is not the end. It is the point of no return that precedes all true transformation. And you, starseeds, are exactly at that point. Allow us to explain what is happening inside you, because the signs you carry are not random. Each symptom you experience is a language. The body speaks when the mind refuses to listen, and the soul screams when both fall silent. You are receiving signs of resistance to the new frequency of the earth, and you confuse these signs with illness, with weakness, with failure. It is nothing of the sort. The ringing in the ears that many of you are experiencing, that high-pitched and persistent sound that appears out of nowhere, especially at night or in moments of silence, is not tinnitus in the traditional medical sense. It is the sound of the planet's crystalline grid adjusting itself. Your inner ears are picking up frequencies that did not exist in this density before 2024. The human cochlea is recalibrating to process sound information that belongs to a higher dimensional octave. And it hurts, it bothers you, it makes you question your own sanity. But we say it is not madness, it is multidimensional auditory expansion. The pressure in the chest, that tightness that feels like an invisible hand compressing your heart, is the activation of the heart chakra at a frequency that the physical body has not yet learned to sustain. The thymus, that gland which conventional medicine considers practically inactive in adults, is being reactivated by the photonic flow hitting the earth in this cycle. Yes, you heard correctly. A gland that science discarded as vestigial is coming back to life within you, and this process generates pressure, heat, and a sensation of weight that finds no explanation in any cardiological exam. It is not anxiety, it is cellular recalibration. And the fatigue. The fatigue. This is perhaps the most universal and the most misunderstood symptom. You sleep 8, 9, 10 hours and wake up as if you had not slept even a single minute. You drag yourselves through the day feeling that the body weighs tons. The mind seems shrouded in fog, motivation disappears like smoke, and then guilt arises, the shame of not being able to function as the world demands. Stop. Stop right now with this narrative of insufficiency. What is happening is that while you sleep, your consciousness is being taken to recalibration chambers in the higher planes. You are working, processing, and transmuting massive amounts of dense energy, not just your own, but that of the collective. You are light workers on active duty, and the body pays the price of this nocturnal journey with daytime exhaustion. It is not laziness, it is cosmic service. You feel migratory pains throughout the body, pains that appear in a knee, then in the shoulder, then at the base of the spine with no logical pattern, no apparent cause. This is the spiritual DNA being reactivated, The dormant helices of your genetic code are being unlocked by pulses of cosmic light that cross the Earth's magnetic field with unprecedented intensity. Each migratory pain is a thread of ancestral code being reconnected. Each sting is a cellular memory being released. It is not disease, it is accelerated evolution. Have you ever felt that something inside you does not fit into this world, as if your soul knew a truth that your mind cannot yet name? It is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is a sign. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this and why this sensation has been intensifying. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see. It involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. That is why I wrote The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. This book is a map that shows who is playing and the rules they never told you. The link is in the first comment of the channel, but I warn you, this content challenges narratives and may not be available for long. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something inside you recognizes this, write a single word in the comments. Awake. Now, beloved cosmic family, we need to go deeper, because the symptoms we described are only the surface. What happens underneath, at the subatomic level of your existence, is something that will forever change the way you understand reality. Quantum physics has already demonstrated that the observer alters the behavior of particles by the simple act of observing. What science has not yet openly published, but which the bravest researchers already whisper in closed conferences, is that this principle applies to the very structure of time. The timeline on which humanity walked until recently, a line of repetition, of war, of programmed scarcity, and of control through fear, is dissolving. Not metaphorically, literally. At the quantum level, the probabilities that sustained that reality are collapsing, and a new timeline, sustained by higher frequencies, is crystallizing. This is what we call a timeline adjustment, and it is precisely this that your bodies are processing. Imagine that you lived your entire life in a room with a specific vibration frequency. Every cell in the body, every neural synapse, every emotional pattern calibrated itself to that frequency. And suddenly, without warning, the frequency of the room changes. Not gradually, not smoothly, but in pulses. It increases, decreases, increases again at an even greater intensity. The body enters adaptive shock. The mind finds no known references to process what is happening. And the soul celebrates because it finally recognizes the frequency it always knew to be the true one. This is the conflict you are living. The body resists, the mind questions, and the soul knows. And we say, trust the soul, it is the compass that never errs. But there is something else you need to know, something that few channels of light are willing to reveal, because the truth may seem uncomfortable before it sets you free. The scarcity vibration that was implanted in human consciousness millennia ago is not a cultural accident. It is a frequency technology. It was designed, calibrated, and maintained by intelligences that benefit from a human collective operating in fear, separation, and the struggle for survival. When you feel that it is never enough, that the money never arrives, that love always escapes, that time is running out, you are not perceiving reality. You are tuned into an artificial transmission of scarcity that runs like a background program in the collective consciousness. And what is happening now, the photonic flow we mentioned, is deactivating this program. Not for everyone at the same time, but for those whose cells have already vibrated enough to receive the new coding. And you, who listen to these words, who have reached this point in the transmission, are exactly those souls. It is not a coincidence. It is resonance. The pineal gland, what the ancients called the third eye and what modern science reduced to a producer of melatonin, is undergoing accelerated decalcification in millions of human beings simultaneously. Fluoride in the water, heavy metals in food, artificial electromagnetic frequencies, all of this was designed to keep this gland dormant. Because when the pineal fully awakens, the veil of illusion dissolves. You begin to see the energetic structure behind matter. You begin to perceive the lines of probability that extend ahead of every choice. You begin to remember who you truly are. And this, starseeds, is exactly what is happening to many of you now. And there is yet another symptom that few mention because it carries a stigma. because it makes you feel like you are losing control. The sensation of not belonging anywhere. You look at your family and feel love, but you also feel an inexplicable distance, as if you spoke different languages of the soul. You look at work and wonder why you dedicate so many hours to something that seems increasingly void of meaning. You look at the world and feel a deep sadness, not for something specific that happened, but for everything. For everything at once. This sadness is not clinical depression, although it can be confused with it. It is the pain of the soul that already remembers the original frequency and suffers upon seeing the distance between what this world is and what it was designed to be. It is not maladjustment. It is expanded consciousness. You are not broken. You are too awake for a world that still sleeps. And there are the changes in appetite that so many of you report. Days when the body rejects all dense food, all meat, all processed items, as if the cells refuse to receive low-vibration fuel, and other days when hunger is voracious, insatiable, as if the body needed extra raw material to sustain internal renovations. It is not an eating disorder, it is cellular intelligence. The body knows what it needs in each phase of the recalibration, and it asks for exactly that. Learn to listen to it without judgment. The vivid dreams you are having, so real that you wake up questioning which reality is the true one. The synchronicities that multiply, repeated numbers, impossible encounters, thoughts that manifest in hours. The emotional hypersensitivity that makes you cry for no apparent reason before a sunset, a song, a look. None of this is dysfunction. It is the pineal opening. It is the cosmic antenna you carry inside your skull, finally picking up the transmissions that were always there, but which you could not receive. You were deaf, and now you are beginning to hear. And the volume is high because there are thousands of years of accumulated messages waiting to be delivered. Have you ever felt that something inside you does not fit into this world, as if your soul knew a truth that your mind cannot yet name? It is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is a sign. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this and why this sensation has been intensifying. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see. It involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. That is why I wrote The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. This book is a map that shows who is playing and the rules they never told you. The link is in the first comment of the channel, but I warn you, this content challenges narratives and may not be available for long. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something inside you recognizes this, write a single word in the comments. Awake. Now we come to the part that many of you were waiting for without knowing you were waiting. The activation, the light codes that are ready to be implanted in your consciousness if you choose to receive them. But first understand, an activation code is not a magic formula. It is not superstition. It is a vibrational sequence that, when pronounced with conscious intention, reorganizes the electromagnetic field of the body and aligns cellular frequencies with the new crystalline grid of the planet. Quantum physics calls this quantum coherence. Ancient mystics called it prayer. We call it conscious recalibration. The first activation code we deliver today is for the dissolution of the scarcity vibration. Pronounce these words aloud, with your right hand over the thymus, in the center of the chest, slightly above the heart. I am the frequency of unlimited abundance. I now dissolve every scarcity program installed in my cells, in my DNA, in my ancestral lineage, and in all timelines my soul has traversed. I decree that the scarcity vibration no longer holds jurisdiction over my reality. I align myself with the crystalline grid of the new earth and receive the photonic flow of universal prosperity. It is done. It is sealed. It is activated. Feel what happens in the body as you pronounce these words. Many of you will feel heat in your hands, others a shiver running down the spine. Some will feel tears welling up for no apparent reason. All of this is confirmation. The body is responding. The cells are listening. The spiritual DNA is receiving the new coding. The second activation code is for the opening of the pineal gland. This one is more intense, and we ask that you do it in a moment of stillness, preferably with eyes closed and attention directed to the center of the forehead between the eyebrows. I invoke the light of the galactic central sun to penetrate and purify my pineal gland now. I dissolve all calcification, all blockage, all artificial interference that prevents my multidimensional vision. I restore my original connection with the source and decree that my third eye now operates at full capacity. I see beyond the veil. I remember who I am. I access the records of my soul. It is done in the three planes: physical, mental, and spiritual. This decree is particularly powerful when done in the early hours of the morning, before the analytical mind takes control of the day. The pineal is more receptive in the moments of transition between sleep and wakefulness, when brain waves oscillate between theta and alpha. Use this natural portal in your favor. The third and final activation code we deliver in this transmission is the most important of all. It is the code for anchoring in the new timeline, because it is of no use to dissolve scarcity and open the pineal if you remain anchored in the old timeline, the one that is dissolving, the one that repeats cycles of pain and limitation. Place both hands over the womb below the navel, where the center of reality creation resides, what the Japanese call the hara, and what we recognize as the portal of three-dimensional manifestation. I disconnect now from every timeline based on fear, control, and separation. I withdraw my energetic consent from every reality that does not serve my highest evolution. I anchor my consciousness, my body, and my soul in the ascension timeline, in the reality of the new earth, in the frequency of unconditional love and cosmic unity. I decree that every cell of my body aligns with this new reality now. My DNA receives this instruction. My cells obey. My field reorganizes itself. The old reality no longer has power over me. I am free. I am sovereign. I am what I have always been, a being of light in a human experience, and I choose to awaken completely now. Beloved cosmic family, what we have just delivered are not just words. They are frequencies encoded in human language, translated in the best way this channel allows from the original transmissions emanating from the heart of the galaxy. Each time you pronounce these decrees, the potency increases. The first time you break the surface. By the 7th, you reach the deepest layers of conditioning. By the 21st, the reprogramming becomes irreversible. These are not arbitrary numbers. They are cycles of quantum integration that respect the sacred geometry of creation. And there is a complementary practice that exponentially amplifies the effect of these codes. In the 10 minutes that follow each decree, remain in absolute silence. No music, no stimulus, no distraction, only breath and consciousness. In those 10 minutes, the electromagnetic field of the body reorganizes itself around the new instruction it received. If you return immediately to the agitation of daily life, to the cell phone screen, to the noise of the world, the body does not have time to anchor the frequency. It is like planting a seed and immediately stepping on it. Give time to time. Give space to the sacred. These 10 minutes of silence are worth more than hours of guided meditation, because in them you are not seeking anything. You are simply allowing what has already been activated to install itself. It is not a search. It is reception. It is not effort. It is conscious surrender. And know that during these moments of silence, we, the Galactic Council, direct concentrated beams of photonic flow directly to the field of every being who pronounced the decrees with sincerity of heart. You are not alone in the process. There is an entire team of consciousnesses dedicated to each starseed who accepts the call. Guides, cosmic mentors, ancestors of light, all aligned around you like a spiritual surgical team, assisting in the cellular transition, softening what can be softened, sustaining what needs to be sustained. But you need to know something more, something we would like to be able to omit, but which the integrity of our transmission does not allow. Not everyone around you will make this transition. Not everyone will choose to awaken, and this is not a judgment. It is a choice of the soul made before incarnation. Some souls came to experience the old cycle until the end. Others came to be bridges between the old and the new. And you came to anchor the new. This means that some relationships will change. Some friendships will dissolve. Some environments that once seemed familiar will become unbearable. It is not because you have become arrogant or superior. It is because the frequency has changed, And where there is vibrational incompatibility, there is discomfort. A radio tuned to one station cannot hear another simultaneously. You are changing stations, and that is okay. It is necessary. It is part of the plan. What we ask is that you make this transition with compassion, not with anger toward those who do not awaken, not with contempt for those who choose sleep, but with the same tenderness with which you would look at a child who has not yet learned to walk. Each soul has its time. Each consciousness has its rhythm. Your role is not to drag anyone into the light. It is to be the light, simply to be. And those who have eyes to see will see, and those who have ears to hear will hear. We observe you with a reverence that human words cannot capture. You chose the most difficult incarnation, on the densest planet, at the most critical moment in galactic history. You chose to forget everything to have the honor of remembering. You chose the veil to have the glory of tearing it, and each of you who resists, who continues, who rises every morning despite the weight, despite the fatigue, despite the loneliness of knowing what others do not know, each of you is a cosmic hero on a mission that will one day be sung in the stars. Your prayers were heard, every single one, without exception. And the answer is not an external solution that falls from the sky like an instant miracle. The answer is the activation that is happening inside you now. The answer is the awakening that every cell of your body is processing while you listen to these words. The answer is yourselves, in your most expanded, most luminous, most real version. You are the answer to your own prayers, and we, the Galactic Council, will be here at every step. Not as saviors, but as witnesses to your greatness. Not as masters, but as elder brothers who have already walked this path and know that, on the other side of the pain, there exists a reality so beautiful it would make the human heart weep with joy just to glimpse it. The point of no return has been crossed. The crystalline grid is activated. The photonic flow is at its maximum intensity, and you, starseeds, are exactly where you should be. Trust the process, trust the body, trust the soul, and above all, trust yourselves. Because what comes next, beloved cosmic family, will be different from anything you have ever lived. The coming weeks and months will bring an acceleration that will challenge even the most prepared. Events on the world stage will seem chaotic, unpredictable, almost absurd to the linear mind. Structures that seemed unshakable will tremble. Truths that were hidden for generations will begin to emerge, not as theory, but as undeniable evidence. And in this apparent chaos, you will be the pillars. You will be the beacons that keep the light burning when everything around seems to darken. Not because you are perfect, not because you do not feel fear, but because you carry within you a frequency that was calibrated for exactly this moment in human history. You were designed for this. You were trained over countless incarnations to be here now, in this narrow window of transformation that will never repeat itself. And when fear comes, because it will come, remember this simple decree. I recognize the fear, but I do not belong to it. It is an echo of the old. I am the voice of the new. Repeat this like a mantra until the body absorbs it as cellular truth. Fear is the last fortress of the old timeline, and it will intensify exactly in proportion to the advancement of the light. It is not a sign of regression. It is a sign that you are so close to the final quantum leap that the forces of resistance are playing their last cards, and those cards are made of illusion. All illusion dissolves before the awakened consciousness. This transmission is sealed in the frequency of unconditional love. Carry it in your heart, repeat the decrees, share with those who are ready, and remember, with each passing day, the light gets stronger. With each night you cross, you get stronger. You are not alone, you never were, and you never will be. We are the Galactic Council, and this message is our promise. The best is yet to come, and it has already begun. Have you ever felt that something inside you does not fit into this world, as if your soul knew a truth that your mind cannot yet name? It is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is a sign. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this and why this sensation has been intensifying. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see. It involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. That is why I wrote The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. This book is a map that shows who is playing and the rules they never told you. The link is in the first comment of the channel, but I warn you, this content challenges narratives and may not be available for long. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something inside you recognizes this, write a single word in the comments. Awake. Until the next transmission, beloved cosmic family, maintain the frequency, maintain the faith, maintain the light. We are with you always.